Sairam, dear listeners, and greetings from Sai Glory. On this auspicious occasion of Swami's aradhana mahasamadhi, we bring to you a beautiful journey of a Sai student, our very own Swami student from Singapore, Sai Sudarshan. Swami blessed his dad with a dream, asking them to enroll their son in Swami's school, and he was indeed blessed with an admission in primary school at a very young age of 10. In this episode, he shares how Swami helped him settle from living a luxurious life in Singapore to becoming a Sai student. He takes us through his beautiful day, his daily routines in Prashanthi nilayam, and also shares his biggest lessons learned living with Sai. He says that even though he doesn't see Swami physically, he sure feels his presence, and that feeling is better than seeing. Bhagwan, we also pray to you to help us feel your presence in our daily lives. Let's immerse ourselves in his divinity.
Om Shri Sairam, my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Baba. Sairam to one and all. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sai Sudarshan and I'm studying in Sri Sathya Sai Primary School, Prashanthi, Nilayam. Today, I'm going to share the experiences and how Swami had showered his love and grace on me. I was studying in Singapore till 4th standard, but my father had got a dream. In the dream, Bhagwan had told me to join the school in PUTTAPARTHI. So I didn't know what to do, what to tell. I don't know if if I should give the answer or not, because I wanted to join the school, but I also wanted to be in Singapore. I led a very luxurious life in Singapore. I used to on the AC and sit on the sofa, relax, and I used to eat with a spoon. I used to sit on the sofa, the dining table. And I used to use Western toilets and like those things. And one more thing to say, in Singapore, I used to attend a lot of SSC classes. I used to learn Vedas and used to sing bhajans. I used to also study in the NPS high school in Singapore. But because of this dream, I discontinued schooling here till I only studied here till 4th standard. With full faith and confidence, we went to PUTTAPARTHI. We were there in PUTTAPARTHI for about some 10 days or 11 days, and then we were continuously meeting the vice principal there. Her answer was no, that there was no vacancies in the school. But to Swami's grace, lo and behold, on the 10th or 11th day, there was we had one call from the vice principal herself that I had joined the school. Now we were all in tears of joy and happiness. We were all very happy, and I was very eager to join the school and wanted to know more about the school. So we had given a little time period of about 4 days to just get packed up and all those things. So I joined the school. When I joined the school, so many brothers, they all gathered around me and were asking me all sorts of information and all those things. As they were very happy to have a new boy in the school. Well, even I was happy to join the school. My teacher also asked me to sing some bhajans and do all those things. Then actually the first few months were very hard for me to settle. I used to cry a lot. In fact, I used to go to my teacher, ask her to get me TC, and after about a month, I directly went to the vice principal. We used to call our vice principal was old auntie, so we used to call her auntie. So I used to go to auntie and tell her that I just want to get TC and I want to leave the school. She would ask me, why you wanted to leave the school? It is very great that you had joined the school, and it's all because of Swami. So she told me to just have faith in Swami. So I just listened, but I just could not bear the tears and this unhappiness. So I told my parents about this. My father told me that just wait for a few months, the holidays will come. That time, if you still don't, that is me, that you, if I don't feel like I don't want to join the school again, then I can take it out. I can take you out. But he just told me to wait till the holidays come. So I obeyed his command, and I just waited with patience. In fact, not even patiently. I used to cry. But then one day I did not feel unhappy. I did not feel like crying. So I went to my teacher. I don't know why. I just went to my teacher. I told my teacher that I stopped crying and I did not feel homesick. And then my teacher, she felt a lot of happiness that misery was over. So she felt a big relief. And then, but then unfortunately that night again I felt like crying. But when I was about to cry and feel unhappy, that time I remembered that I told my teacher that I'd stop crying. Now if I go and tell my teacher that I had started crying, she would feel very bad. So I just controlled that. So this I did for a lot of days. This had then become a habit. And then I didn't just stop crying, and my homesickness just flew away. And now I was like part of the class. And then I had a big change because I was, as I told you, I just wanted to live under AC, and I used to eat with spoon. I used to use Western toilets. But here it was all the opposite. I used to actually also wake up very late. I used to ask my grandfather. My grandfather used to pat me on my back and wake me up. He used to do some massage and wake me up. But then in that school, I had to go to sleep by myself and wake up just by the vice principal's voice. Like that auntie used to just tell, wake up boys, and we had to wake up like that. So it was a very big change for me. I got used to then. I just got used to the school. And in fact, once I was sitting in my prayer hall, that time my friend had told me about one living Ganesha. Yes, you heard me right. It's one living Ganesha. He had told me that it breathes. Swami has given that Ganesha life. So I really did not really believe him, but I just wanted to test that Ganesha. So I told him, before I leave the prayer hall, I must feel that your eyes are moving or turning left to right, or like those things. So believe it or not, just before I left the prayer hall, the eyes of the Ganesha moved from left to right. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I felt like that. Similarly, when we were given a chance to sit near the singers in the mandir. So just there'll be a picture. If you see carefully, there'll be a picture above the Sai Samadhi. There'll be one big picture of Swami sitting on a chair. I looked at it while the bhajans were going on. I looked at the picture, and I felt like the picture was coming near me, and Swami was blessing me. It was like as if it was not even looking like 3D. It was like Swami himself coming out of the picture. Experiences like this had happened to me in that school. Another incident had happened to me. I had written my exams, but I wrote my other exams well. But then I was thinking about my human values exam, because I did not really prepare it well, and I did not know how many marks I would get. I thought I would fail in that particular exam. So I was, but then that night or another night, I just prayed to Swami before sleeping. I went to the prayer hall. I prayed to Swami sincerely, full of dedication, and then lo and behold, I had got very good marks. In fact, I had got full marks in that exam. and then I had got good marks, and this is all because of Swami. And I used to be a pet of my class, and when I joined the school, they were all the 7th standard brothers that we were in fifth, but then the 7th standard brothers and the 6th standard brothers would always really like me a lot. And then now in 6th standard, I was now considered as my teacher's sensible boy, because whenever there's some problem or something, you have to something like for example, festival times, we would decorate our class. So that time when we had to dismantle them and even decorate our class, my teacher would call me and some more brothers for dismantling or decorating the class. So in fact, it was Swami's Leela that it had happened like this. I told my grandparents and my parents that when I joined the school, I was for so many months I was crying, and I thought I would leave the school only. But then now I feel like as if I don't even want to go. I want to go for my holidays. I would be there in school forever. In our dorm, it was a mixture of 6th standard B section and 7th standard. So it would roughly be around 100 students or more than that. Okay, my usual routine in Parthi would be like mornings. We would wake up usually on like 6:30 or 6 o'clock. So, but then during examinations time, we would wake up 5:30 or 5:45 because exams were going on. So our vice principal wakes us up by herself. She would come and say to us, "Sairam boys, wake up!" And she would ask us to on the lights, and some would be just lying down while the prayers are going on. They would all be like that. So. Because they'll feel sleepy, but auntie will wake them up, or some partner besides. We'll be sleeping next to each other, all of us, all the brothers. So they would wake each other up. And then after waking up, we would say our prayers, morning prayers, which is Karagre vaste Lakshmi, Kara Madhye Saraswati, Kara Mule tu Govinda, Prabhate Kara Dakshinam. And then we'll say Sai Shradai with me, and then Om Bhur Bhusva Gayatri Mantra, and then we would go for some brothers who before auntie would come for waking us up. They would have finished their brushing and making their beds. But for those who are yet to do those tasks, they would do after auntie would wake them up and after the morning prayers. Yeah, then we would go to the prayer hall, and then we would chant Suprabhatam, and then after Suprabhatam we would usually go for bath, or finish any dormitory works. If we have to collect some clothes or something, we would, or making our shells, we would do that. Or mostly during examinations time, we would go down to class for studying the particular subject. And but I think during Wednesdays and Saturdays we would have morning games. So after Suprabhatam, we would take our shoes and go for games. We would go for games, and after games we would be called for a breakfast. So then after breakfast we would have our bath. After bath we would go for assembly. But then the class which is going for bath games would usually miss their assembly, so they would go directly to class. We'd chant our class prayers, and then we would continue with the normal classes. 1 o'clock, 1:10 like that. We would have to have a lunch, and after lunch we would again continue till 4 o'clock. We would have classes, and at 4 o'clock we would have our tiffin, that is a few snacks, and then after tiffin we would go change into our tracksuits and go for games. But some brothers would not like games, and they would just be in the class and playing, talking, chatting, finishing their work. So they would be in the class. The weak boys who are not that good in studies, they would have special classes, etc. We would have proper Veda classes on Tuesday morning, just after Suprabhatam. So it will be for about an hour. Then we would, every day in the evenings, we would chant the Vedas which we have learned. We would actually keep on list. Monday these Vedas, Tuesday these Vedas, like that. We would chant till the teacher comes. It will be for about half an hour. We would have Samadhi Darshan on alternative days. That is only on Thursdays. So suppose today I would have Mandir Darshan. So next Thursday I would not have. Then the following Thursday, then again I would have, like that. We would have Samadhi Darshan. But then it will be a regular task on Thursday and on Sunday to evenings to go for darshan. My grandparents shifted to Puttaparthhi just for my sake, just for my happiness. Grandparents would come meet me on Thursdays and Sundays when we just cross by to go to Mandir for darshan. So they would just wave with their hands, but then on Sundays, every Sunday from 12 to 2 we would have parents meeting where they would bring lunch for us. We could do whatever we want, but we could not go home. They would come to meet us in the school. So we would have about 2 hours time. Yeah.
So your grandparents are there just for you?
Yeah. Though Swami is not in his physical form, he's omnipresent, and he can be felt and not be seen. But feeling is more better than seeing him. But experience was we were having Nagar Sankirtan. I was in 5th standard that time. We were having Nagar Sankirtan. Usually our teachers would tell, sing loudly or clap and sing. But then that day we were singing with full devotion, and loudly we were singing by clapping our hands and those things. And then our teacher was one of our teachers. She told Swami that today the boys have sung very nicely by clapping their hands and singing with their loudest of voice. So she was just thinking like that. That time a flower just fell. She was amazed. She also told the class. She told us, and we all felt very happy. From that we taught a lesson too, that if we sing bhajans like with full devotion, Swami would really hear us like that. I learned to live alone, and I've realized that though Swami is not in his physical form, he still helps us and bees with us all the time, wherever you go, even taking the first step, like he would be there. No, I don't. Yeah. This is all because of Swami and his grace. I would like to now conclude by saying that though Swami is not in his physical form, he's omnipresent, and he can be felt and not be seen. But feeling is more better than seeing him. So I would like to conclude by saying this point. Jai Sairam.